So today I'm going to be talking about the Manchuria crisis. So yeah, let's get started. Well, this all happened in 1931, and the Japanese Empire they had the control of the South Manchuria railways. So in September of that year, 1931, the Japanese claimed that the Chinese had sabotaged the railway by bombing it, like putting bombs in it. Um, I mean, it is widely regarded that it wasn't actually Chinese who did it. It was the Japanese looking for an excuse to act on their aims of expanding the Japanese empire. But officially, the Japanese said, "Hey, it's the Chinese, not us. So don't blame us." Well, Japanese army decided to. I mean, you bomb the railway. I mean, an appropriate response, right? They decided to straight up invade Manchuria and set up this new government and flood it with Japanese forces to just make Manchuria part of Japan. They removed all Chinese defensive forces and actually renamed the area to Manchukuo. Manchukuo, yeah, Manchukuo. And well, they obviously had to create a government there to try and maintain control as well as make the area obey the Japanese rather than keep their loyalty to the Chinese. And it was really a puppet government. It just did what the Japanese Empire wanted them to do. So China, when this happened, said, "We need help." So there was no United Nations at the time, but there was a League of Nations. So they went to the League and said, "Hey guys, can we, can we get some real help? The Japanese have invaded our territory, and well, we are not happy about this. Help me, please." The League decided to investigate. They decided to send officials to Manchuria to try and find out what was going on and see who was to blame and see what a possible response would be. Of course, seeing as the League was based in Europe and, well, Manchuria was in China, that was a long way. And also, they weren't really preoccupied with this. They were worried about their own empire aims. So it took the officials there's like a sweet time, like they took their sweet time to arrive. It actually took ages for them to actually arrive, then ages for them to investigate, and ages for them to come back, taking over a year before the league was actually able to propose a solution and publish a report. The report was very detailed, and I mean it was well done. I think I've read parts of it, but it did declare Japan was in the wrong, but it didn't really offer any real solutions. So, well, I mean, what they did say in the report was that Japan should leave Manchuria. Just it's not their territory, so they should leave. They shouldn't be there. But the Japanese said, "Haha, that's a good idea. I actually really like it. Okay, let me just take note of it. So I never do it because I don't like the idea. It's crap. So yeah, I'm gonna continue staying in Manchuria. So you can suck it. Well, not Manchuria, Manchukuo." And the Japanese said, "Yeah, it's self-defense. The Chinese, well, they bombed our railway and they're threatening our empire. So we just thought we'd expand a little bit because we need to protect ourselves from China because they're a really big threat, and also we need like we need more land because we have a lot of population. So yes, it's all self-defense, no interest at all. We do not want to expand our empire." Yeah, the League did not buy this. The League said, "Yeah, we're going to approve this report that we made against Japan, and you're gonna have to do something about it." But of course, it didn't provide any real solution. So Japan said, "Oh, it's like that. You're just gonna publish this report against me, and you are not gonna help me at all. You're not gonna let me keep Manchukuo. You're not gonna damage the Chinese. I'm just leaving." And they straight up they got up and walked out of the League of Nations, withdrawing all support as well. So this was a huge blow to the League. The League hadn't experienced anything like this before. Germany would go on to also leave the league later on. But right now, Japan was the first country to leave. And well, the league in response said, okay, fine, we are going to impose sanctions, economic sanctions. However, the biggest trading partner, who, if some economic sanctions were to be put in place, would really damage Japanese economy, was the United States. Problem was, the United States was not part of the league, so they couldn't really force the US to cut ties with Japan. Which I find it really funny that the US is not in the league, seeing as Woodrow Wilson, president of the US, was the guy who said, yeah, we need a League of Nations, but then he lost the re-election and they never joined. Well, Britain was also trying to undermine the efforts of the league to punish Japan. Because the British, they want to keep good relations with the Chinese. So, well, Britain wasn't too keen on harsh economic sanctions. And the main threat to Japanese economy wasn't even part of the league, so they couldn't force it to actually do something. So the league was pretty much useless. And well, every time the league would come close to a decision, be that economic sanctions, be that military intervention, be that whatever, they would nothing would happen because the members just didn't want to go to war. They didn't want to risk any conflict with Japan because well they had just gotten out of a war in 31. Yeah, 15 years before that they were in the war. So they didn't want to get into another war. Little did they know that in less than 10 years' time they would be in the Second World War. But hey, at that moment they did not know that. So they want to avoid a war at all costs. And there were only two countries that actually, like I said, the league was kind of useless, but only two countries could actually do any damage to Japan and actually enforce these sanctions. One of them I already mentioned, the US, but the other was the Soviet Union, which was part of the League of Nations, so also useless. So it was extremely likely that both the US and the USSR would decide to withdraw all support. And well, the crisis proved to international observers and critics of the League, mainly Germany and Italy, that the League was powerless to stop international aggression. And well, Hitler and Mussolini both said, well, we can actually do stuff and not face any consequences. Japanese did it. Why shouldn't we? And that is the Manchuria crisis. That's what happened. I mean, the crisis itself is significant, but more in relation to the League of Nations rather than to anything else, because it shows how the League of Nations was extremely useless. They did send representatives and did send people to assess what was going on. And they came back, they wrote a report, but they failed to sanction them. And they lost all support and even encouraged for dictatorships. I mean, Hitler got the idea for the remilitarization of the Rhineland and the Anschluss and whatever because he knew the League was powerless and no one would oppose him. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Manchuria crisis. I don't really have anything else to say, so I'm gonna end it there. I hope you liked it, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.